Hi guys. I hope you're having a good early week. Yesterday I wanted to come on, but actually I had a nice evening. I had dinner with friends, and wife was there. Different folks. It was really good, and we had a lot of discussions. And it kind of informed the kind of things that I wanted to talk about. So I just want to talk about three items. I can't really stay long, but I wanted to cover these three items, and I want to talk about that little stuff that happened at that police station in Tennessee. That very raunchy stuff. I want to do some, comparison to what's going on with Amy Robach and TJ Holmes. Then I wanted to chat a little bit about Prince Harry, and I wanted to have the weirdest topic, and I left it last: eggs. So let's get started. So first thing I wanted to talk about was some little weird thing that happened in a little police station back there in Tennessee. So let's go through what happened there, right? So, back in Tennessee, these folks, they're in the police station, and basically, apparently, this lady here, a female officer, kind of has an open relationship with her husband, and she has relationships with different folks in the police station. And one of the things is these guys got fired because it wasn't just that they were having, you know, intimate relations in the police station. It was that they were having intimate relations while they're on duty. So, the police, the force had to fire them. Now, there are other guys involved, but those other guys, they had these intimate relations with this young lady outside of the normal duty time. And it's weird. I mean, it's kind of weird and everything. But what I wanted to chat about with this one is, look what these guys gave up. They gave up a lot, because as police officers, and I know it's a small town in Tennessee, but generally police officers get really good pensions, they get very good benefits, all of that stuff. And to be fired, some of these guys are detectives. I understand one of these guys is a sergeant, and really just getting some pleasure on the job, was it worth it? And it's something that I'm starting to think a little bit about. And I had a little chat in my comment section with one of my favorite guys. This guy, I like him. He has been there from the start, soccer goal. And I like it because we have good back and forth chat on this one. And one thing I can tell you, it's never worth it. It's never worth it. I'll tell anyone that having a relationship with someone at work is a no-no. I know people who have met people, their spouses at work and whatever, but they managed it appropriately. But to have dalliances and flings at work, that's dangerous. Now, this woman could never get me in trouble. But I am not going to tell anyone that I am invincible, because I always tell people, there is a person for everyone. And I can tell you, back in the day, if Nia Long, looking the way she looked right there, was at work, would be trouble for me, because I have always had a big crush on Nia Long. But what I would look at was, is that time of pleasure worth, not being able to feed myself? And I have a family. Is it worth, you know, having them have to move out of their the home because we can't pay the mortgage, all of that stuff? Is it worth all of that? And that's the main thing, and that's why I wanted to put Nia Long here, because that woman could never get me to do that. But I would strongly have desire for Nia Long. But the thing is, you always have to look at what you're giving up, and these guys have given up a lot. I mean, some of these guys may end up being security guards, mall security. They're probably might, some of them might earn up $8 an hour, and this is not good for them. And it's something for us all to look at, that none of this stuff is worth it. None of it is worth it. And I hope that for us as men, we see it, that yes, someone may come offering something, but why the hell am I? And I always think about it, like, let's think about it. Let's say one guy comes to me and say, hey, you heard about this new officer, and she's really good, and me and her in the back, we're in the back room, and we did this and that. I don't know how that's enticing to me, because that's like, do I want that officer's leftovers? And so I just can't imagine how this went. And what's and I'm saying that it's sad because I know what these guys have given up, but I also know they did wrong because some of these guys are married. One officer said his wife threw a fit when she found out about this and all that. So it's not worth it. And I am going to be number one to tell anyone that doing this type of stuff is just nonsense. And I wanted to chat a little bit, allude to TJ Holmes. And the reason why I want to allude to TJ Holmes is one reason. You know, TJ Holmes and Amy Robach, we all hear about their situation. It has been going on for some time. Those two basically, they have this relationship going on, all of that stuff. But what's important is the good thing is that they're not at work doing this, right? They did this off the job and, they have their relationship going. To me, let me tell you something. Years ago, I'd have said that this is disgusting and they should not be doing this. Now I see, listen, if they're in love, they're in love, and that the good things they're not doing this, in the back room of ABC or on the studio or whatever. But you know what? Whatever happens with these two. But one of the things I can always say is having a relationship, having a dalliance at work will jeopardize your career. And right now they're both on, the company's having their internal investigation. Either one of them or both of them could lose their jobs. And these guys are earning over $1 million a year. This is not worth it. And that's why, where I come from, it's very coarse what we say. I'll just kind of print it up. You don't defecate where you eat, right? And you eat at your job. You earn your salary every fortnight. Why are you jeopardizing it for someone on work? Like that just does not make any sense. So I'm not going to belabor this point, guys. You guys know what I think about this. You don't do this. Now, one thing before I move to the next topic, I wanted to just push something out there. I kept on saying that this whole thing of the wall does not make sense. And let's put it here. Let's put Exhibit 6. Because I put a lot of exhibits in the last, I did one that the manosphere wall thing does not make any sense. This is Larsa Pippen. She's 48 years old. This is Marcus Jordan, the son of Michael Jordan. Well, if you don't know this, Larsa Pippen was married to Scottie Pippen. Marcus is the son of Michael Jordan. Marcus is 31. Larsa is 48. These two are friends, very close friends. I mean, this is a very, very close friend, but it just shows you that older women are attractive. And let's stop this nonsense about the wall. 25. This woman is almost double the wall age. She's 48. She's 23 years past the wall. Where is the wall? And that's why I keep saying, stop talking nonsense. Because most of these guys, if you check their internet history, there's some words in there that is in the internet history that tells you that they like these women. I think it's one of the most popular searches. It starts with MIL. So stop the cap, stop the nonsense. Men like beautiful women, and I will always give these, anyone who wants it, I'll always give them this simple scientific thing that, listen, you have three parts to your brain. Your lizard brain is what is your attraction, and you can't tell yourself what you're attracted to. The neocortex is where you think things over. And it's the same thing happened with these police officers. When they, heard that in the back room, this woman was, very good in the back room, what brain do you think they were thinking with? And what brain they were able to suppress? Because they were suppressing one part of their brain. They're suppressing the part of their brain, their neocortex, would told them that they will lose their livelihood doing this nonsense. They were able to suppress that very easily. Your lizard brain is pretty strong unless you are disciplined. So let's get back to it. Let's stop this nonsense. These women are winning, and the reason why they're winning is because they're beautiful. They get to choose the men that they want, and we went over that. And the fact that they may not have a date right now is because they choose not to date. I'm not saying that men want to marry them, but they can find men. Like if you go into these guys' DMs, oh my God, you'll be surprised, right? So let's stop talking this nonsense about the wall. The wall is really just something there to frighten younger women to get married to men who are broke. And, and what I keep telling men is that we have to improve our income. Like you cannot sit down every day talking about you're going to shame women into wanting you. That's nonsense. All right. So let's move on. I wanted to talk a little bit about this couple. And the reason I want to talk about them is I really like Meghan Markle. And when her story came about, I think it was about 2016, I really liked it. Someone told me, that Prince Harry's, with someone who is half black and all that. And I remember looking for and I was surprised to see that she was the actress from The Suits. I mean, she's a very sultry actress from The Suits. And I was interested. And, as the story got along, I was a little disappointed that she didn't invite her father to the wedding. And yesterday I had dinner with a few other couples. And one of the things was, a lot of the couples who are mainstream folks, they were saying, literally, that they were really disappointed in her not inviting her father to the wedding. And the next thing is, now that they're basically separated from the royal family, it doesn't look good. And I know that they're earning good money from their Netflix and their book and Harry's book deal, but it doesn't look good. And it's something that my biggest concern for both of them is by alienating themselves from their families. You're getting rid of your support system, and your support system is very important. And it's not just friends. You have to think about your support system. Your support system are people that truly love you, who know you from a long time. They know you from the start. And when you erase your support system, it's not good. And one thing I can tell you, my wife and I benefit that the fact that we both have both sides of our support system, because it's important. And right now, I know that they're going to earn good money by what they're going to do, the book and the Netflix deal and all that stuff. But when you're alienated from your family, it's not good. And listen, I have siblings, and as siblings, you have disagreements, you have times when you feel that injustices were done, but that's not something you bring into the public. It's like washing dirty linen in the public, and that's not great. And so for that, I'm not really pleased by that, but they're doing what they're going to do. I hope that the money will last, because one of the things is, whatever money they earn from this, will this last for a long time? Because the next time they come out with an expose, it won't be news. So, I really hope that they didn't do this, because, as I said, I really like both of them. Really did. Really, really do. But, this is not a good look. And I think that it kind of gives them it almost gives this feeling that they are, they're not being loyal to their family. And you always have to, as I said, you always have to value your family, unless they do something really fundamentally wrong, but you should value your family. So the last item I wanted to chat about was eggs. I know it's one of the most boring topics, but really I need to chat about it a bit. The prices of eggs have gone up tremendously. And my wife, and I, when we go shopping and that, we have noticed this. And this is something that I wonder about, because it's something to basically, you basically go to the supermarket and you see that the eggs are gone up and that. So I read a little bit about it, because you look at it, you see it started here from $1.50. Now it's all the way up to like $3.55. Now, with all this expensive, eggs, one of the things is now the most eligible bachelors are not crypto guys anymore. The most eligible bachelors are eggmen. This man is almost like a rapper showing you money, because when you look at it, guys, this is like $3.50 per dozen, right? And if you look at that tray he has there, that's $7 per tray. So if you count all the trays behind him, this guy is like a rapper with a whole lot of money. So I was thinking that, maybe my next rendition is to kind of get some acreage and, have an egg farm, because of the avian flu that has been affecting, especially laying hens, it has definitely affected egg prices. So I don't know if you guys are experiencing these high egg prices, but it's astronomical, and, people who are smart are getting in it, right? A lot of different people are getting in it. But it may pass after a while, because they'll soon figure out how to fix the problem. But for now, eggs are expensive. And these guys are the new, for the while, the new millionaires, because as you can see, one dozen eggs is $3.50. That's $7 per tray. And if that guy has maybe 1,000 trays in his place there, that's $7,000. So I'm happy for the egg guys. This, they said that it will take a little while before they recover, and then I guess egg prices will go back to normal. But for now, these guys are winning. And I even heard that there was some Costco that they were limiting the number of eggs that you could get, trays of eggs that you could get, because there is a genuine shortage of it and that. So I wanted to cover those topics, guys. And the main thing I wanted to leave us with is, going back to the original folks, guys, like as men, we have to be careful, right? You know, if we hear someone is giving good pleasure in the back room, think about your job. Think about your job. It's something that could get you, like that you see here, fired. And these guys have given up pensions, they've given up promotions, they're giving up good salaries, they're giving up careers, because as a police officer, it's hard for you to get fired as a police officer, because normally you are on until you're in your 50s and you retire well, you buy a boat, you go and enjoy yourself, and you lose all of it because while you're supposed to be on duty, you're getting you're getting expensive pleasure, because this pleasure will eliminate the rest of your career. So I'm sorry for these guys, because I have empathy, and I think sometimes it's just the thought of that 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is, but that 10 minutes can cost you a lifetime of lower income. And so I will just see this as a harbinger, a warning to all of us, that no matter what's happening in the back room, and no matter which woman is providing this great pleasure, is it worth having to be a security guard at some mall or some big box store right now, earning $8 an hour, and then the worst thing is, at those mall stores, you have to stand up all day, all day there. Some of these guys had very good jobs, like they would drive around in the patrol car, they could arrest guys, all of that stuff. Now what's happening now, right? Right now they're in a position right now that they're fired, and when you're fired dishonorably, it's not easy because you have to explain to the next person that you go to, like, oh, you're looking for this job, in a new town, where's your reference? Can I see your record? It's always there. It's always there. And the guys who got suspended because they didn't do all of this stuff on the job, they actually did it outside of the job, they have a big mark on their record now. That stuff goes on your, like, your permanent record. These guys have given up promotions. They've given up promotions by having relationships with and this woman is married too, and some of these guys here are married too. So I think these things happen, and it helps us, all of us, to look and reflect on it, because these workplace relationships can happen anywhere, anytime. But as men, we always have to remember that we have even if you don't have a family, you have yourself to feed, and be careful when you do these things. And that's just my advice: be careful. It's a struggle, because I tell you, I'm not going to pretend and cap, because I can tell anyone that if it was this woman, well, not she, her, on the left, there, it would have been a struggle. I'd pray a lot. I'd go to I'd go to my private place of prayer. I'd probably even just say to my wife, hey, my wife, I really like this woman. She's very pretty, but I'm struggling. Because immediately, think about it. This could cost you your livelihood. So, guys, all I can say to you is, while I go away, and that is, let's just keep a level head. And as we said, one of the things we always have to remember, this lizard brain that we have is not evil. That's the thing that keeps our heart going. That makes us attracted to all these women. But that neocortex, or that human brain that we have, is what keeps us out of trouble. Keeps us out of trouble a lot. And sometimes when they say you have to think with the big brain, actually it's your neocortex, your rational part. We have to think about it. We have to weigh all these actions, because easily we can end up losing an 80,000, 100,000, $200,000 career because we wanted, some pleasure in the back room. And guys, this is not just for police officers. Like the CEO of McDonald's, former one, found himself in the same issue, and that we as men we all have that issue, and that's something that we'll have to control because we are responsible for ourselves, right? And when we're broke, who's going to help us? Not even your wife will want to help you, because can you imagine you cheated on her with this woman and you're now asking her to help you, right? So, guys, as I said to you, let's just use these lessons to help us to figure out that this is not where we want to be. We don't want to be fired from our good jobs because someone is giving good pleasure in the back room. So, guys, I'll be back probably on Thursday. I just wanted to drop this 20 minutes here and that. Thank you for listening. If you could like, and if you're not subscribed and you like this content, please subscribe. I really like chatting with you guys, especially in the comment section, all of that stuff. It's always a pleasure. I mean, if you go to my comment sections, especially under my community tabs, it's always lively discussion, always something, funny. And, I like to shout out Soccer Goal. That guy has been a subscriber from last year, and he has always been providing, a lot of good comments, good support, good encouragement, all of that stuff. So thank you guys for listening to this. This always a pleasure, to deal with you guys and deal with these topics. And I will just leave it with this. Let us focus, guys, on improving ourselves, and then everything will work for us, right? It does not make sense for us to shame, blame, and explain, because one thing I can always remind everyone, that this shame, blame, and explain movement is always it's a hidden thing. All we're doing is wasting time focusing on trying to tell women to improve themselves, when the mere factor is that our main competition is us trying to figure out how to feed ourselves properly. And if you can feed yourself properly, within a few years you can feed a family. Then you'll never have a problem with women. Because guess what? The one that does not want to work with you, you move on to the next one. But you have to be able to feed yourself. That's the important thing. Feed yourself, then you can feed a family. But focusing on, trying to tell women that they need to be in their place and all that stuff, that's nonsense. And that's a loser game. And I'll always say that every day, that most of the people who call themselves part of this manosphere are losers, because they're sitting down every day talking about women. I've never seen in all my life productive men sit and chat about women all day. Productive men sit and chat about business ventures. They sit and chat about things that will improve them. They're like this Eggman. And I'm not saying we should invest in eggs, but they're like this Eggman. He is, he has an egg farmer. If you are been at the supermarket, eggs cost $3.50 a dozen. This guy has, right, there's $7 in front of him, right? And behind him, who knows? Maybe he has 1,000 trays. That's $7,000. That's what we should be doing. Do you think that this guy sits down every day talking about the modern women and what they should be doing? No, this guy's thinking about how to produce more eggs, how to get more chickens, how to, get more chicken cooks. That's what we should be doing. Well, not necessarily chickens and chicken cooks, but how to improve ourselves. But sitting down chatting about women all day long, I can tell you it's not a very manly thing to do. So let's not call that manosphere anymore. Let's just call those women watchers fair, because all they're doing is watching women. I can tell you guys, until you improve yourself, until you get yourself better, you will be a loser. Always be a loser, because the losers, and you know what, guys, I always say this, look at the time that people have the shows. If people have shows 10 a.m., 11 a.m. during the week when you should be working, who listens to that type of stuff? Who is in the chat in that type of stuff? Think about it. I could never be in those chats. Well, probably if I had a day off. But I want to be like this man. I want to be doing something productive, thinking about how to increase production. And now he's lucky because the egg prices have gone up tremendously. This guy is seeing an increase. This guy is the new crypto guy, right? He's the new crypto guy. He has gone from $1.50 a dozen to over $3.50 a dozen. Now we're feeling the pain at the supermarket because trust me, guys, when I go to the supermarket now, my bill is now like 30% more. All of that stuff. And I will tell the manosphere again, that's not black women's fault. And for women, that's not black men's fault. That's just because of supply chain and money supply and all that stuff. But what we need to be focused on as men, because the women can do what they want to do, right? What we should do as men is focus on being productive and stop. We need to stop being this guy, constantly crying over what women are doing. And, it's not a manly thing. It's not a manly thing. We sound like a bunch of losers. And it's sad when I hear it. But you know what? After a while, it becomes entertaining because what's happening is these men are trapping themselves into this life of victimhood where they're saying they're under gynocracy. They're saying how women are going to meet the wall, all of that stuff. And then they have to deal with these pictures of 31-year-old men trying to get with 48-year-old women. And it keeps showing them that what they're talking about makes absolutely no sense. So, guys, I'll leave you with it again. Let's be productive. I'm going to go back to my productive week. I just want to spend time with the folks because I really do enjoy the comment section. I really do like chatting with you guys. And so I'll be off to my productive week. I'll try to get back on Thursday with a mixture of topics, whatever is current, but always with the underlying theme of being productive and staying away from these temptations which can put us into poverty. And so I leave you with the temptation when I leave that whatever is going on in the back room at the workplace can leave you fired. So thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week.